Hello my students of class 6. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Akash Classes Assam. So students, today we will discuss the question answers and other activities of the lesson The Mountain and the Squirrel. So let's begin our today's video. Our first activity is to write 3 words that you can connect with each of the object you read in the poem. Like the words like tree, nut and climb are connected with a squirrel. Likewise, you have to write 3 words for mountain and 3 words for forest which can be related with mountain and forest. We can say the 3 words which are connected with the mountain are big, forest and trek. On the other hand, the 3 words that can be connected with the word forest are large, squirrel and nut. Our second activity is to answer the following questions. Question number A is, why did the mountain call the squirrel little prig? We can say the mountain called the squirrel little prig in order to insult the squirrel because of its small size. Our next question, what did the squirrel say to the mountain? The squirrel said to mountain that though he is smaller but he has different abilities or talents. Next question number C. What are the main differences between the mountain and the squirrel? Here we have to make a comparison between the mountain and the squirrel. So we can say the mountain is large, it can carry forest on its back and it can't crack a nut. On the other hand, the squirrel is small, it can't carry forest on its back but it can crack a nut. In our next question, a stanza from the poem is given. If I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I will not deny you make a very pretty squirrel trick. So the question is, who said these lines and to whom? So after reading the poem, we can say that the squirrel said these lines to the mountain. Our next question, the word former means the first one out of 2 and the word latter means the second one out of 2, and the former called the latter little pig. Who is the former and who is the latter in the poem? So we can say in the poem the mountain is the former and the squirrel is the latter. In our next question, as you have already read and understood the poem, the meaning of some lines of the poem is given. You have to read them and identify the lines from which the meaning is derived. First one is, the squirrel is not as big as the mountain and the mountain is not even half as energetic as Bun. So it is the meaning and you have to find out the lines from which it has been taken. So it is the poem and see here it is written that if I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. So meaning of spry is energetic. So these 3 lines will be our answer to question number 1. And I am leaving question number 2 and 3 for you to solve it by yourself. Now let us move to question number 3. Here also some lines are given. The lines are, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a sphere. Question is, why does the poet talk about a year and a sphere? We can say the poet talks about a year and a sphere in the sense that it requires everything, large or small, good or bad, etc., to create the world. Everything has its own value in the world. In question number 4, some sentences related to the poem are given. You have to read them and write whether these are true or not true. And if these are wrong, then you have to write the correct sentence in your notebook. Question number A says, the mountain called the squirrel little pig. In the poem, we found that the mountain actually called the squirrel little pig. So it is a true sentence. Question number B, the squirrel told the mountain that it wasn't a disgrace to be small. So after understanding the poem, we can say, yes, the squirrel told the mountain that it wasn't a disgrace to be small. So it is a true sentence. Question number C, the mountain is not as spry as the squirrel. Yes, it is also a correct statement because the mountain is not as energetic as the squirrel. So it is true. Question number D, the squirrel can carry a forest on his back. As you know, the squirrel is a tiny creature, so it will be not possible for a squirrel to carry a forest on his back. So it is a false statement. The correct statement will be, the mountain can carry a forest on his back. So student, here we conclude our today's video. In our next video, we will solve the questions given to direct and indirect speech, that is narration.